So yesterday we created a temple using Dungeon Alchemist, and today we're going to put this into Roll20 and apply dynamic lighting. Now, what is dynamic lighting? Dynamic lighting essentially allows you to auto-reveal information, visual information to the players as they move their token around in Roll20. So instead of just presenting them with the whole map, as you can see it now, so basically if we were to play like this, then everyone who is on this layer, or on this map I should say, is able to see everything. But of course you don't want to do this because there could be a monster hiding here maybe, and when the players come into the temple from here, they shouldn't be able to see it. You don't want them to see it. You want them to explore. So it's like an exploration mode. Before we go into any details, what is important is you have to have a Plus or Pro subscription in order to use dynamic lighting. If you don't have this, then you have to upgrade, because everything that I'm going to show you now only works for subscribers of Plus or Pro. So this is the map layer. So we've imported the map. So this is the normal JPEG that we exported from Dungeon Alchemist. As you can see, it looks really nice. We're gonna zoom in and you can see that the resolution is really good. Here we've got a token. I'm gonna move to the token level now so she becomes not transparent and she can move around. So we're just gonna take a look at this token. She has dynamic lighting turned on. She has vision, she has night vision. She also gives off light, and she is controlled by all players. So that's the information about this token. But in order for this to work, we also need to set the information on the map level. So for this, we need to activate dynamic lighting, and I've also chosen Explorer mode, and I've also chosen Daylight mode, which means that the whole page is lit. This doesn't mean that everything is visible, but it means that everything is lit. Because obviously this is an open temple, so there would be light. So now what we need to do is we need to tell Roll20 which parts of this temple, or of this building rather, is impenetrable to vision, so you can't look through it. And we of course know this because these are walls, you can't see through them unless you apply a spell, for example. But normally you can't. So now we need to tell this to Roll20. So we go to the dynamic lighting layer, and then we need to mark these walls. And we do this, and this is a little bit annoying, but this is the only way we can do it. So we're gonna take polygon line, and then we're gonna choose wall, and we're gonna use small. And then we're going to click where the wall begins down here, and then where it ends down here. So now you can see this blue line. I'm just going to zoom in, which is not visible on the token level. So when we switch, if we can, we can't for whatever reason. Yeah, it's a bit temperamental today. It won't be seen then. So now we're going to go to the dynamic lighting layer again. We're going to choose the polygon line. We're going to say we want to draw a wall. And yeah, we choose the right thing. No, that's not what we wanted. Yeah, this is sometimes a little bit really annoying. And here we have the next one. Escape ends it. Here we're going to create a new one. Bam, bam. Escape ends it. Here we need to be a little more careful. Then we're going to go here and here. Then we're gonna zoom out a little to see more of the wall. So now we've covered everything that is a wall, except for down here. So we still need to do this. And over here. So now these are all walls. And Roll20 will recognize them as such. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the objects and tokens level. As you can see now, these blue lines are now gone. When we go back to the dynamic lighting, they are still there. Map background, they are not there. Objects and tokens, which is where your players reside, it is not there either. Now, let's do this one more time because now it's getting tricky. She's got dynamic lighting, she's got vision, night vision is on, she emits bright light. And she has a tint color and we're going to give the light a color of blue. Okay, so now you can see that she is emitting light. But what you can now see as well, this actually shows her field of vision. Anything that is blue is what this character can see. We are now viewing this from the level of the GM. So I can see still the whole map because I should see the whole map. But I can also see what the player is able to see. So now you can see that she has a vision that goes as far as this. But in theory, if somebody was to hide here, they should be covered by this column. You can do this by making these columns opaque. But before we do this, what I want to do is I want to show you what the player actually sees. And for this, you can switch to rejoin as player. This is going to take a while. And now you can see what the player can see. And she cannot see anything beyond this. And when she moves, this becomes visible. But still she can't see the staircase. Now she can see the staircase a little, and now she sees the staircase fully. And now we go back and rejoin as GM. And now what we can do is we can go back to the dynamic lighting layer, and we're going to add a draw shape. And again, it's going to be a wall. And this time we're going to use the green one, and we're going to draw a green one in here. So now you can see this black thing that just appeared shows that from where she is standing, she cannot see anything behind this column. So we're just going to continue doing this. And it now means that stuff that is behind this is not visible to her, which kind of makes sense. And then you, as the DM, can make a decision if you want to put stuff here. We could also try and use circles, because these are of course circular shaped objects. And you can do this for every single of these columns. And now we go back to the objects and tokens layer and we move this, whoops, and we move this token, and you can see that when she's standing here, all the stuff that is kind of in here is not visible. And you as the dungeon master can tell what she can see. So if you were to put a monster here, and let's just try and see if we can do this. We're just gonna take another character. Gonna adjust the size to basically fit the grid. And this monster is now hidden from her view, so she cannot see this. And then as a dungeon master, you can exactly see where you can place stuff or what your players can see and what they can't see. And this is how you apply dynamic lighting. Now, as I said in my video on Dungeon Alchemist, in theory, when you have a pro license, you can you have access to the API mode of Roll20, and there is an API that you can download and install, and that should allow you to import all of this information directly from Dungeon Alchemist. Because when you save this and say I want to save it in the Roll20 mode, it will know that these walls are walls. It knows where you have like a door, etc., and it should all save this, and you should in theory be able to import it, and you wouldn't have to really bother with the dynamic lighting layer. Unfortunately, I don't know if this works, and I'm just not going to spend another $50 to see, just for educational purposes, if it does work. So if any of you have done this in Roll20, it would be interesting if you could let us know if it works. And what your experience with it was. But this is essentially how you can take the map that we created and you then import it into Roll20, put it on the map layer, then go to dynamic lighting, you set the dynamic lighting information, then you add the little walls and impenetrable parts, and then you can adjust what your players can see when. So I hope you found this useful, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.